Or a piece of leather at the most. Man, moving up in the world, got some leather to lay my head on. But the point of that is that word shows that he was so tired, he could fall asleep with his head on this hard thing. And then in the midst of the storm, he was still sleeping. Now, my father-in-law, who happens to be here today, he was in the Air Force back a long time ago, and he was in the weather. He did the weather for the Air Force. And a lot of you guys are way too young to remember this. In fact, most of you guys are way too young to remember this. But back in the day, they didn't have nice little printers, jets, the jet printers and the copy machines. They had what's called like a teletype. And this thing was loud. In fact, it was so loud, they put a box over the top of it to keep the noise down, but that still didn't keep the noise down. It was so loud that it would click, 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 as it printed on the paper. My father-in-law would get so tired from pulling these long shifts, he would get on top of that thing and lay down and fall asleep.
You're not supposed to say that.
You've been out of the Air Force for a few years, so you're not in trouble, just so you know. But he would get so tired, he could sleep on this thing that was rattling out a humongous amount of noise. And that is exactly where Jesus was. He was so exhausted. He fell asleep on a piece of wood, on a bumpy boat in the middle of a lake. On a cramped boat. Remember that too. It's not like he was back there and everyone's kind of, let him have his space. It's like, no, he's like right there. But the other thing that's really important about this story is that we have the story here, but afterward, what's really important about this story is what happened afterward. That right after this, when they landed on the side, that's the story of the demonite that he healed, that had been tortured by demons for years and years and years. And so the before is really important, but the afterward as well. Let's remember this one thing. Most of the disciples were seasoned fishermen. As we get into the next part. So in verse 37. So remember that. These guys are fishermen. Peter, his brother Andrew, James and John, probably a couple others, have all been fishermen, and they know how to handle a boat. And yet, they get a little panicked. It says here, and it says, and a great windstorm arose, and the waves beat into the boat, so that it was already filling. So water was coming into the boat. They already know that they have the boat overloaded. They have too many people in the boat. And now the storm comes up out of nowhere and starts filling the boat with water. Now, how many have you guys done fishing, whatever, and get a little water in your boat? It's not a big deal, right? But obviously, this was enough to frighten these guys. They were truly in danger. Now, what's interesting about that storm is, oftentimes the cold air off the Mediterranean would come down over the top of this huge mountain that was just a few miles away and come whipping down and hit the warm, humid air over the lake and create horrendous storms. And it could create wakes from 1 to 4 feet high in a matter of just a few minutes. And so these guys truly felt like this storm was going to take care of them. Now, here's the thing. A lot of times when we read this story, and maybe you've read this before, you think, man, these disciples had no faith. Come on. How big of a storm could have been? Are you a fisherman? Were you there? They were in fear for their life. They really were. I mean, it's not like they didn't know what the storms were like. They were in fear for their life. There's times in our life when we feel it's so overwhelming. And we think there's no way out. And we think, can't do this. Can't handle this. Life is too hard for me right now. I can see my fate. This boat's about ready to go under. We're all ready to die. I can see it. I just know it. What choice do I have? So let's get to the core of the story. Verse 38. Here's my first question is, how could he still be asleep? I mean, I told you he was exhausted. I mean, he was exhausted, but come on. I mean, the boat is being thrown all over the place. Water's coming in the boat. The wind's whipping up. Well, for one, he was in the stern, and he was probably laying, like I said, down on a piece of wood. And so he was shielded a little bit because the boat is heading with the wind in this direction. The wind would go over the top of him, so he probably wasn't feeling the wind too much. But yet the water was still splashing around. So it just shows how exhausted he was. He was just physically exhausted. But I have another question, and this is one maybe you can ask through a text. These guys are all seasoned fishermen. I've said that a couple times now. Why do you wake up a carpenter? Why would you wake up a guy that's a carpenter? Remember, this is the very beginning of their ministry with Jesus. It's only been a few months maybe that they've been with him, and he's healed a couple people. Pretty cool. One kid was raised from the dead. Pretty cool. But that's about it. They've heard doing some good teaching. So why do they wake up a carpenter? Like Jesus going to do something? He's going to put a new sail up or something? I don't know. Why would you wake him up? I mean, if I was in their shoes, I'm like, you know what, if we're going to perish, it's better that he just perishes in his sleep. But they woke him up. They were so afraid that they went and woke him up. I'm thinking, you know what? Here's how I would look at it. Hello, God. I'm here. I'm suffering. I'm waiting. I'm fretting. I could use a little help. It's almost as if we believe that somehow he's asleep. Or he's busy with somebody else. You know, he's busy with so-and-so in New York City. Doesn't realize that I'm having troubles over here. And that's kind of the thing I see there. And it feels almost not fair. Like, God, I'm hurting really bad. About ready to leave my church. Go someplace else. I could really use your help. I didn't have the answers. I didn't think about waking up a carpenter. So let's go to this point here. Jesus is asleep. They actually had to, rattle him to wake him up. Not like, Jesus, hello, can you wake up, please? It's like, Jesus! Wake up, please! Please wake up, Jesus! I mean, it was the wording that they used. They had to wake him. I mean, it was not something that was simple. It was like he was asleep. When I try to teach trust, you kids probably remember Megan and Marissa. You probably remember this when we did this in kids' church at Bethel. We had a 2x4, and I was trying to teach the kids about trust. And so we took this little kid and we blindfolded the child, and we said took this 2x4 and put it on two people's shoulders. And we said, okay, we're going to put you up on this 2x4, and you're going to walk it from one person to another, blindfolded. But don't worry, we're going to be there to take care of you. I'm like, are you willing to do this? And I guess. So we then blindfold the person, and in the meantime, those two people took the 2x4 and put it on the ground. And we picked up the little kid, and we acted like we lifted him way up. And then we're dealing with him, and eventually we slowly get him down to that 2x4, and we put it on it, and then we make sure the 2x4 is kind of, a little bit of. And so they get on there and okay, we're holding on just for a little bit, but then after a while, you're going to have to let go and really trust that you can do this. And so they're, And she was able to do the whole thing. It was awesome. It was perfect. It was like, thank God I found someone who really knows how you walk a balance beam. I think I actually purposely chose that person because I think it was someone it was probably someone like Cheyenne or someone like that I chose to do.